Hello, everybody. I'm going to describe to you and explain how you complete research for my class, or as I like to call it, research, mostly because it annoys my wife, but you know. So when you do a research assignment for me, it's very simple. You are going to look up and do a little research project or research project, however you like to say it, on any aspect of the story or the source that we just read. Anything. I'm asking for a minimum of 1 page, single spaced information that you take from the internet, you highlight it, you copy and paste it, you put it on the piece of paper or the assignment, the document, and then you hand it in. That's all you have to do. Now, what do you research when you do a research project for me? Absolutely anything that you want regarding the story or the source that we just read. For example, the first thing we're reading in this class is The Pit and the Pendulum by Edgar Allan Poe. If I ask you to do a research project on that or a research assignment on that, your job would be to give me 1 or 2 pages of information about anything that you want dealing with the Pit and the Pendulum. So you could research Edgar Allan Poe himself. Fine. You could research the Spanish Inquisition. That's where it takes place. Fine. You could research different types of torture devices if you want, because it's all about torturing people. Totally fine, because that's what it's all about. You can research pendulums, the thing that goes like this in a clock. That's fine. Anything you want from that story, you're allowed to research. So while you're reading, if there's something that you don't know about or want to know something more about, even the most obscure thing, if they mention one thing in the short story, you can then research that and give me information about it from the internet. Now, this is not a very difficult assignment because you're simply cutting and pasting the information. I will say this. I require you to read the information that you're cutting and pasting and turning into me. What I will do is have a little conference with every student. I'll ask you to come over when you hand in your research to me, and I'll ask you to describe what it is that you read about. And just tell me 1 or 2 things about it to show me that you read it and you understood it a little bit. If you come up to me and say, well, Mr. Kenny, I just highlighted it, I didn't read it, I have no idea about Edgar Allan Poe, then you're not going to get full credit from me. I'll probably give you like half credit. So if I'm counting that research project as a 50-point assignment and you know everything about that you research, I say, come on up, tell me about Edgar Allan Poe. You go, well, Edgar Allan Poe had a crazy life. His wife died when she was 13 and he died of, outside a polling place. He was kind of crazy. He wrote these great stories. Fine, you read it, you're good, you're getting the full 50 points. But if you come up to my desk and say, Mr. Kenny, I didn't read it, I just highlighted it, copied and pasted it last period in science class, I have no idea, you're only going to get half credit even if you get that much. So make sure you're reading this information. So let me take a look and show you, or let you take a look and show you right now. Take a look at what it would look like. Now this is the blank document. Is this even, hold on a second, are we even recording it? No, hold on. Let me do it this way. Research, good, share. Okay, now you're seeing it, pardon me. So this is what it'll look like when I assign it to you. I'm going to say, please do research for whatever it is that we just read, and you'll fill it out like this. 1, you'll put in the source, you'll type in the title of the source. If we did The Pit and the Pendulum, you'll type in The Pit and the Pendulum. Let me do it right now. The Pit and the Pendulum. Now notice I put that short story in quotation marks because short stories always get put in quotation marks. I would put the page number that we take this from. Now in this case, The Pit and the Pendulum is not part of our book. So I would write here, no page number, or, not in the textbook, right? Okay, and then the website address. So here's the most important thing when you do research for me. You have to record the website address that you're taking your information from, and you have to type it in that line. So if let's say I'm looking up Edgar Allan Poe, and I find www.poe.com, that's what I would write down right there. Or the Library of Congress, wherever I'm taking the information about whatever I'm doing my research, I have to type the website address. Allow me to show you a sample. So this is a research project or a research assignment that one of my students did last year. When we do, I believe it is our 2nd unit, which is going to be all about freedom. One of the stories that we read, it's actually not a story, it's a speech by Nelson Mandela. It's called Let South Africa Show the World How to Forgive. I assigned a research assignment for that one night, and the students had the ability to research anything they want regarding that speech. So since the speech was given by Nelson Mandela, this student chose to do her research on Nelson Mandela. So the first thing I want to show is they did it on a separate document, which is totally fine by me because they have the two most important things on here. They have the website that they took this information from, which was www.britannica.com, and then /biography/Nelson Mandela. So if I were to click on this right here, this link, I'll find the information that she highlighted. That's by giving the website address, you're making sure you're not plagiarizing this information because you're telling me this information came from there. And now if I scroll down, you'll see this student gave me, there's one, there's two, it's about 2.5 pages of information about Nelson Mandela. It tells me about where he was born, his life, how he was imprisoned, his death, everything about Nelson Mandela. It's all in there. I actually remember calling the student up to my desk and I said, tell me about Nelson Mandela. And she did. She explained a little bit about his life. It was clear that she read the information that she copied and pasted, and I gave her full credit. I believe she got 50 points out of 50 points. So please take a look at this again. You are going to, when you do a research project, you can research any aspect of the story that you want. The author, the title, other stories that the author wrote, or anything within that story itself. So in this case, this student chose to do it on Nelson Mandela. She could have also done a research project on South Africa. She could have done a research on forgiveness. She could have done her research on in that speech, he talks about all these different occurrences that happened while, during the time period. She could have done any research on any of those people or any of those occurrences. You cannot get research wrong as long as you are picking some aspect of the story that was mentioned in the story. Again, you need to give me 1 or 2 pages of single-spaced copied information from the internet. Again, you're just going to cut, you're going to paste it onto a separate document and make sure you tell me where that information came from. You have to give me the web address that you took this information from. I'll say it now. If I do not get a web address, I also will take off some points. Probably you'll only get half credit. So the 2 things you must do is give the web address that you're taking your information from, and you must read that information before you hand it, or before I check it the next day in class, so that I can see that you read it. I'm going to tell you now, too many students just spend 4 minutes highlighting it, copying it, and pasting it, and then they come up and they have no idea what they have from me. They're getting less credit. So again, this isn't really that long of assignment or very tedious. Should take you about 5 or 10 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes to find the source, copy and paste it, and then another 5 minutes to simply read those pages. I will not test you on this. I'm just going to ask you to tell me a couple of things about it to prove that you read it. So let's go back to the assignment itself. Again, this is what it's going to look like on top. And then down here, you would type the website address, www. Whatever it is, w dot blah, 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 put that in. And then underneath it down here, that's where you paste all the information that you highlighted for whatever it is you chose to write about. Again, you cannot get this wrong because you get to choose what you're researching. Let's go back to my video of myself. So you cannot get this wrong. You get to choose what you're going to research. You copy and paste it. You put it down. The 2 things that you must do are, you must put the website that you're taking this information from so I can easily find it, click it and find it, make sure that it's linked in. And 2, you must read the information that you're researching so I know that you did some, you read it so you understand what it is you're researching. Sometimes this information will come in handy. You can use it in your essays at the end. But the most important thing is that you get those 50 points every time I assign it, because as you know, all my points add up to one final grade at the end. So every assignment is just as important as every other assignment. This one's easy. If you have any questions or problems, ask me. Have a great day. Thank you very much.